The American Chamber of Trinidad and Tobago is supporting the suggestion for an increase in the price of electricity. The discussion started on Wednesday by the president of the Energy Chamber, Thackwray Driver, who said the time has come for us to reconsider the state's heavy subsidies on electricity. This morning, President of AMCHAM, Mitchell De Silva, said government should remove the subsidy on electricity as well as water and fuel.
The American Chamber of Trinidad and Tobago says government must look at how it can reduce the subsidy on water, electricity and fuel in the short term. Its president, Mitchell De Silva, says this must be done as government cannot continue to bear the extra cost for these items.
On the short-term side, we have to look at our expenditure profile and how we rein that in to a degree that brings it closer to our revenue, but doesn't shock the system overly, recognizing that there will be a shock. So when you look at the degree of subsidization in the system, it is inordinately high relative to the revenue streams that we have. There was a point in time when we could have afforded subsidies, but we've reached a point where we can no longer afford it to the same level.
He said introducing the means test for gate was a good way to go. De Silva also suggested some long-term solutions to deal with the economic situation.
We are strong advocates for policies that create and drive accountability and discipline. So we have agitated significantly for the operationalization of the procurement legislation and the framework around it. So that's the staffing of the office, the appointing of the board, the hiring of the regulator, him or herself. That will bring a level of accountability and discipline into the system that today is seemingly absent. And that's a question we raised yesterday at the forum.
He said enforcement is the key. Added to this,
we've seen our neighbors in the Caribbean having to adopt fiscal rules. And broadly speaking, what fiscal rules dictate is that you have to have a certain expenditure pattern relative to your revenue intake. And that is codified again in law. So it removes the ability of any government to exceed certain thresholds unless there are exogenous circumstances that cause you to do it.
De Silva went on to praise the government's move to hold the conversation with various sectors that took place on Wednesday. He said what it did is it clearly articulated where we are as a country from the economic standpoint. Rishi Harinanan, CNews.